Okay, friends and neighbors, this is my reminder to clean up my workspace. Alright, today we have a parcel that I got from Germany. I got it from Thomann Music, and that little stand comes with it in the box. Yeah, you know, I collect retro style microphones, so it's got a Thomann sticker here. I don't know if this brand is like Thomann's house brand or what, but I had looked for this around the US and nobody really had it. There was somebody selling it on AliExpress, which might be a copy, but it would be the Chinese copying the Chinese, so that doesn't make sense. And then there were some vendors in the UK or whatever, but the most affordable vector was to get it from Thomann, which the shipping was a little frightening. It just comes in this kind of boring box. The packaging isn't impressive, but the microphone certainly is pretty cool looking. This is a Superlux WH5. It's a dynamic microphone, and I like that they used a metal mesh screen behind the main grill there, probably before the foam. That's the one microphone from Nady, the condenser, had that. And then on the back we have a switch here, which is, I think, poorly labeled. We have drum, vocal, and instrument, but it's a 3-position switch. So which position is the middle position? I don't know. I looked in the instructions. I still don't know. But we'll be able to figure it out because we're smart here. That's how we figure things out and solve problems and all of that. So we'll put that down for a moment. And it does come with a little paper user guide. And I don't know that it's terrific English. This is a classical vocal microphone also, so you're allowed to sing, you know, Bach and Beethoven and Mozart, but nothing else. Okay, so dynamic microphone, 2-pin, pin 2 out, positive output voltage as related to pin 3 when diagrammed. So that's just telling us the polarity. It doesn't tell us whether it's actually balanced or not. It's a unidirectional supercardioid, so that's fine. Rotationally symmetrical about the microphone axis, uniform with frequency, see figures 1, 2, and 3. And they actually did include a lot of polar frequencies. Looks like a normal supercardioid to me. It has 3 modes. In drum mode, it goes from 30 Hertz to 10,000 Hertz, which that might work well for recording a bass guitar, perhaps. Vocal is 50 to 1600, which is more typical of a vocal mic. And then there's an instrument setting here, and instrument is 20 to 12,500, so it's going to be a little bit high-end roll-off there. But that's interesting that instrument would want to go all the way down to 20. I don't know. Interesting. 200 ohm impedance. Max SPLs depending on the mode. Okay. And the net weight is 750 grams, which is 26.4 ounces. So 16, close to 2 pounds. Pound and 3/4. It is a heavy boy. Okay, so there's your frequency response curves for drum, and for vocal we get a couple little additional vocal peaks there in the high end. Makes sense. A little bit one down here, and a bit more roll off, it looks like. And then for the that's the instrument. So the instrument is, you know, gives you more high. The vocal should have a bit more roll off. Yep. Those are the response patterns anyway. We'll see if it does anything at all. This one's confusing. It says it has a 3-position switch on the back, and then they show a picture of just the grill. That's very useful. The switch looks like that. Can you see it? There it is. Why don't they label it or show the labels properly? I mean, they're imprinted weird on here. I can't tell what they're supposed to tell me. And then it has an on-off switch. Let's see. Professional microphone users tend to use different microphones for different sound sources so that to achieve a desired sound character. I think that's some English. There, my dyslexia's playing with me. With Superlux WH5 microphone, a trilogy concept microphone with 3 different capsules built in so that the user can select one of the capsule for the sound preferred. I really don't think this has 3 capsules. I would take it apart if it was easy, but it uses strange torque screws. If I actually believe it has 3 capsules, I will take it apart. Classical appearance integrated with the latest microphone technology for an artist demanding a unique oldies appearance with the goodies music performance. Okay, that's some clever translation there. See, 3 position switch on the back to switch between percussion, instrument, or vocal setting. Well, what about instrument? Well, okay. Percussion, comma, instrument, or vocal. Okay, gotcha. And we have the on-off switch. 3 different frequency response capsules in one body. Always a sound meet your demand. Yeah, that's English. Yeah, always a sound meet your demand. Good. Typical application for percussion, instrument, and vocal. Classical appearance, latest technology. I really got to know if this has 3 capsules. On-off control, 3 position capsule selection control, internal shock mount for reducing handling noise. Tilt limits, blah blah blah, we include that, and it apparently can be used as a handheld microphone too, but why would somebody do that? Because it looks way cooler on a chrome stand. So there you go. Made by Superlux Taiwan, and it's manufactured in China. So, but again, I had to order this from Europe because you can't get them here. The Superlux brand seems to be kind of tricky to get in the States. Let's try it out. Okay, so here's our Superlux WH5. It's got the gain cranked up quite a bit because it seems to like that. And we have the EQ set to relatively flat. I'm still up close to it. It's definitely polar. Not quite as tight of a polar pattern as some other ones because I can sort of move a little bit to one side or the other, and it still hears me better than some other ones would. So I'm thinking maybe more of a general cardioid than a supercardioid, just by the way it's behaving. But that's okay. I figured out also what that switch on the back does. The side that says drum and vocal, I believe when it's on the end it's on vocal. When it's on the middle it's on the drum position. And we'll change it to the drum position and you'll hear the difference maybe. In the middle drum position where we are now, it has actually reduced the gain somewhat, which should be able to accept a louder signal. Makes sense for drums. And yeah, so that's that. And then the instrument has a different characteristic again, so we'll try that one. And we're back with the instrument, and that again gives us a different vibe here. I honestly think it has to do with the amount of gain we have and that we're kind of maybe compressing up a little bit, because this microphone does require a good amount of gain to get a good amount of signal. And we can try running it through our mic preamp and compressor and all of that and see how we do in an ideal environment. And then by employing our microphone preamp and compressor, we can get a little bit more, sound here. Maybe move it a little bit more forward. We tweaked the EQ just a little bit, but we're still running fairly flat. Maybe a little bit more on the high and maybe a touch more at the bottom. But again, pretty close to flat. And we're very, very close to the mic. So we're going to be highly plosive sensitive, and you can hear that in the plosive words. But, in a live environment, the mic gain is going to be a lot lower. And for broadcast, we'd probably get away from this. So let's try to turn it up and then get away from it. So back at about 6 inches away or so, you can actually maybe hear the ambient reverb of the room, and the issue with the plosives is pretty much done. So, I'm a close talker to these microphones because I usually intend to use them for live music performance, and you generally get close to those mics because the gain isn't cranked up that much. And actually our top sounds a little sensitive to me, so maybe I'll roll that off a little bit. But you know, it's always a tweak and always an adjustment and always a way to do. But I think realistically this mic isn't bad. You're going to need a preamp that's got some gusto to make it work. But overall, I think it's useful. It's definitely heavy and fairly well made. And there you go. Okay, you would think we would be at final thoughts at this point. But we're not. Because I couldn't get over the paperwork saying 3 selectable capsules. So I opened it up. There's 3 selectable capsules. I really thought that was a mistranslation, and they were saying that, you know, there were 3 modes in the capsule. There are literally 3 different switchable capsules in this microphone. Left position, or this position, far end here is this capsule, middle, and the other side. And it actually does switch between the capsules. It looks like they only have a little piece of not even felt board or whatever behind that screen, so I may want to add a little bit more foam to help with the plosives, which is easy to do because there's lots of room to work in these. But what in the world? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, so now our final thought. Number 1, the packaging sucks. Cardboard box. I want a carrying case. That's just me complaining. They did include the little stand adapter for European to American stands, which makes sense because this is marketed in Europe as far as I can tell. And the paperwork talking about 3 capsules wasn't lying. I'm thoroughly surprised. I think this has a lot of potential. I did add a little bit of foam in behind that grate to help out with the plosives a bit, which I didn't consider them to be terrible, but they could have been better. And you can't tell because of the metal mesh, you know, everything looks the same. Wow. Very innovative, very different. I suppose we'll have to try this out in a real world environment and see what we get, but this is the Superlux WH5. I kind of like that WH script there. It looks like a cowboy logo or something. And it does come with that little stand, which may or may not be useful for anything. Alright, thanks for watching, y'all.